There's a reason why your LinkedIn posts get likes, but they don't end up getting actual leads. And this is really a conversion issue. So what I want to break down in this video is exactly why your posts are getting engagement, but they're just not converting. Really, we're going to cover the difference between vanity metrics and revenue metrics, and ultimately how to fix your content strategy so that every post moves people closer to becoming an actual client. Now, with this said, it's the same approach that's taken me to over 55,000 followers all organically on LinkedIn with 10 million impressions last year, and has taken our clients having full calendars like this with full inboxes of qualified prospects, along with Stripe dashboard with payments that look like that. And so if you want similar, stay tuned to this video, because we're going to start by diagnosing the engagement trap, which is the fact that your post might be getting a lot of likes and comments and you're feeling your follower count's growing, but your calendar's actually empty. No one's actually booking calls, and this is what we call the engagement trap, which is where you're getting validation in the form of likes and comments, but you're not getting actual business results. So there's really two types of real metrics here. You've got vanity metrics and revenue metrics. So vanity is likes, comments, follower count. They make you feel good, but they don't actually lead to revenue. Whereas revenue metrics are things like profile visits from your ideal clients, connection requests from decision makers, and direct messages about your services and book calls. So the problem is you've been optimizing for vanity metrics instead of revenue metrics. You've basically been creating content that gets engagement from anyone and everyone instead of creating content that attracts and converts your ideal clients. And this is why your posts get likes, but they're not actually getting leads because you're playing the wrong game. So you need to ask yourself a question: who's actually engaging with your content? If you look at the people who are liking and commenting on your posts, you probably noticed a pattern. It's other coaches and consultants, your competitors. It's aspiring entrepreneurs who don't have budget. It's random people. They're not actually your ideal client profile. But your ideal clients, the decision makers with real problems and real budgets, they're not engaging. And the reason why is because your content isn't actually speaking to them, it's speaking to everyone else. And this is really the core problem. You're attracting the wrong audience with the wrong content. So the content mistake that you're making is because you're basically posting engagement bait, content that's designed to get likes and comments, but not to attract actual buyers. Now, motivational quotes, personal stories without business context, and hot takes on trending topics, this type of content gets engagement because it's relatable, it's easy to consume, but it can attract spectators and not actual buyers. Your ideal clients, the business owners and decision makers who can afford to hire you, they don't necessarily engage with just motivational quotes. They engage with content that helps them to solve real and expensive business problems. Now, if you want to convert engagement into leads, you need to change the type of content that you're actually posting. To fix this, you need to shift to what I call the content conversion framework. So stop optimizing for likes and start optimizing for qualified engagement. So before you post anything, ask yourself, will this post actually attract my ideal client? Will it speak to their specific pain points? Will it actually position me as the expert that they in particular need? And if the answer is no, then just don't post it. Because every piece of content you publish, it should serve one purpose: to attract and convert your ideal clients. This means your content needs to be a bit more specific, more tactical, and more business focused. It needs to actually demonstrate your expertise and show people exactly how you can help them. Now, let me show you what you can post instead. First, post problem focused content to call out the exact problems that your ideal client is facing and use their language, not yours. So for example, you could say, if you help sales teams, don't just post motivation is key to success. Instead, post why your sales team is missing quota, and then in brackets, and it's not because they're lazy. So you can see the first post will get likes from just like random people, but the second post will get engagement from sales leaders who are actively dealing with that very problem. So it's problem focused content that can attract people who actually have the problems, and then people with the problems can then become real clients. Now, the second post framework is basically what we call framework driven content. So share framework strategies and systems that prove that you know how to solve the problem. So for example, you could say the 3-step framework I use to fix underperforming sales teams, then break down the 3 steps. So explain the strategy, demonstrate your expertise. This type of content, it really does 2 things. It educates your audience and it positions you as the expert. And then when a decision maker sees this, they think to themselves, this person actually knows what they're talking about. I should pay attention. Then you've got framework driven content, because that then attracts serious buyers and not casual strollers, right? Third, you've then got post results driven content. So share case studies and client results. So use specific numbers and outcomes. For example, you could say how I helped a client increase sales by 40% in 90 days, and then actually tell the story. Like, what was the problem? What did you do? What were the results? This type of content builds credibility and it demonstrates proof. It shows people that you don't just talk about solutions, you actually deliver them. Results-driven content attracts people who are ready to invest because they can actually see an ROI. Now, here's a simple test to see if your content is working. Look at the people who are actually engaging with your posts and then click on their profiles. Are they actually your ideal clients? Are they business owners, decision makers, people who fit your ICP? If yes, then that's great because it shows that your content is on target. And if no, if it mostly offers other coaches or aspiring entrepreneurs or random people, then you might find that your content's actually off target. Now, this is the engagement quality test, and it really tells whether you're attracting the right audience or the wrong type of audience. Now, another problem is that your posts don't have a call to action, or your CTA is just too vague. So if you end your post with nothing, then people just don't know what to do next. They just like the post and maybe move on. But if you end your post with something vague and you say, for example, DM me if you want help, that just adds a bit too much friction. No one's going to do that. So instead, use a clear low friction CTA. So for example, you can say comment guide, and I'll send you my free framework on fixing underperforming sales teams. This gives people a specific action to take, and then when they take that action, they then end up entering your funnel. So a clear call to action turns engagement into actual conversion. Now, the final problem is that you don't actually have a funnel. So you're getting engagement now. People maybe are liking your post, they're commenting and following you, but you don't have a system to convert that engagement into actual leads and clients. And so engagement without a funnel is basically a wasted opportunity. You need a clear path from engagement to actual conversion. So for example, a LinkedIn post to a comment CTA, to a free resource, to an email sequence, to a video sales letter, then to a booked call. Because when you have this type of system in place, every post becomes a lead gen machine, and without it, you're basically just collecting likes. So the shift that you need to make is to stop chasing engagement and stop just only focusing on getting likes and stop optimizing for vanity metrics. Instead, start attracting qualified buyers, start creating content that speaks directly to your ideal clients, and start optimizing for revenue metrics. And then measure success by book calls and not likes. So if a post gets 50 likes but leads to 3 book calls with qualified buyers, that's actually a successful post. Whereas if it gets 200 likes but leads to 0 book calls, that's a failed post. This is the mindset shift that will really change everything for you. And you'll get to a point where finally you're actually booking more calls, you're closing more deals, and your content is converting engagement into real revenue. And this is what happens when you optimize for conversion instead of engagement. Now that we've covered all of this, this is really a snapshot of the type of thing we cover through the Influx Autopilot system. So if you'd like to learn a bit more about that, I'll leave a link in the description box below, which walks you through how we guarantee our clients at least $50,000 in pipeline in 90 days. So again, I'll leave a link in the description box below this video so you can check that out in a bit more detail. If you found this particular video helpful, please do take a second to like it, leave a thoughtful comment, share, and also subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.